All right, so we have touch base. Touch base. I'm out of the office right now, and I'm busy, so let's touch base early next week. Maybe you want to touch base next week in an email, or because on the phone because you're busy, or literally you're out of the office. So you can say this in person, or you can say it in an email. Touch base. Just means to connect later. Oversight. Yes, it was an error. Maybe somebody screwed up, but we're not making a big deal out of it right now. It was an oversight. Let's just leave it at that. Moving forward. What's done is done. Now let's move forward. Again, it's about forgetting or playing down an error, something that's happened. And the management want to continue to move forward with everybody being productive. Bandwidth. Now that's a term generally used for internet, but it's been taken into corporate language to mean about the mental capacity you have. So I don't have the bandwidth to take it on right now. So it means that maybe you're under too much pressure. You have too many tasks on your plate. And so you're kind of politely saying that I can't add that to my list of jobs. I can't do that right now. It could be the fact that you're stressed. It could be some other task that you're being asked to do, and you're saying that you don't have the mental capacity to do that now. Okay. Hold fire, hold fire. Literally like with the guns, hold fire. So hold fire normally means we're not going to do it now. Maybe we might do it in the future, but I want you to stop it now. Hold fire. With a pinch of salt. So maybe there's a report or something somebody said, but you take it with a pinch of salt. Now that means that you don't put too much weight into it. You don't think it's hugely important, all right? It might be worth looking at later, but just take it with a pinch of salt. It may not be that important. But it comes from the English of cooking, and the recipe would say add a pinch of salt just for an extra flavor or to help break down the vegetables you're cooking. All right? Not a grain of salt, like the Americans say, because a grain of salt will do, like this small, would do nothing. So it's a pinch of salt, like a quarter of a tablespoon. Sorry, quarter of a teaspoon. It's a pinch of salt, very small amount, but not a grain. That's just... All right. To look at the optics. To look at the optics from the public eye. So maybe you've just received a big bonus for the company doing very well, and you want to splash out. You want to buy maybe a new car. But maybe you've had to make some redundancies. Maybe some people have had to leave the company, which allowed you to have a better profits by the end of the year. And then you got a bonus. But to the employees and maybe the shareholders, this is probably not a good idea. It doesn't look good for the employees working in a factory. All right? Or from the newspaper, if you're a politician, for example. All right? So looking at it from other people's perspective. Optics. And from my understanding, optics means glass, like through the lens of. Okay. Streamline. We need to streamline the factory. We need to make it more efficient. Streamline the factory to make it run better, more effective, more efficient. but it generally means people are going to lose their jobs. There's going to be some reshuffling, they like to say. But somebody is going to lose their jobs, and because there are too many employees, and it's costing money. So streamline, meaning to make it more efficient and more effective. All right, circle of competence. This is outside my circle of competence. Often means that somebody wants you to do other work or extra work or somebody else's work. Maybe they want you to train another member of staff. Maybe they want you to supervise another area. Maybe they want you to take on somebody else's role as well. And the response would be, it's outside my circle of competence, meaning that you're not qualified or suitably experienced to take on these extra tasks. That's the polite way of saying it. Outside my circle of competence. All right, like we covered before, like park it, put a pin in it, to shelve it. To park it is we're going to stop with this project, this idea, this thing we're doing. We're going to park it for now. And it's a polite way to say, we're not going to do it anymore. We're going to stop it. It's binned. It's no good. So that's the polite way to say, we're going to park it for now. Okay, best practice. We follow a best practice guidelines. So you're probably going to copy what other people are doing. You don't want to get caught. And maybe there's an employee handbook. But the best practice is what the industry normally considers the right thing to do in that situation. Best practice. Nobody really knows what it means. Paradigm shift. Okay. It's clear we need a paradigm shift right now. That's a polite way of saying we need to change things up because something's not working. Big changes are going to happen. Redundancy. Again, this is more of a British term, and it means the company is either shrinking or relocating to another place, and so people are going to lose their jobs. Now, often in the UK, if you've been at that job for more than 2 years, you would often get 1 month of pay for every year you've been with the company. So sometimes it's a welcome, but on the other hand, you've got to find another job. And if you're a senior person, if you're over 50, that can be quite tricky and not welcome news. Also, if you have other responsibilities and mortgage and children, it's not always good news because you might get, I don't know, maybe £3,000 or £4,000, but how long will that last when you don't have a job? So it's not really a good thing, redundancy. Okay. Manage expectations. You should manage expectations regarding a pay rise. So this is a way of preparing somebody. Get them understanding that there's some bad news coming, not what they expected. Maybe they're not getting a Christmas bonus because the company's profits were down. All right? Manage expectations. That's a polite way of saying there's some bad news. Brace yourself. Be prepared. Okay. Bottleneck. The supplier is causing a bottleneck. Now this is when maybe the factory or the regular output of what you do is being slowed right down due to a complication somewhere, normally somewhere near the end. Maybe it's the warehouse have too many sickness and holiday. Maybe it's supplier not getting you the product quick enough because they have to ship it from another country. But it causes a bottleneck where everything slows down on the output. Literally like coming out of a bottle, maybe like a bottle of wine. At this juncture, so that means at this moment, at this time, I can't tell you any more. Maybe it's a press release. Maybe it's a conversation with your senior manager to the staff. Maybe face to face. At this juncture, we are not employing any new staff. We are not recruiting new members at this juncture. So it may be a cause for alarm, but at this juncture normally means I'm not going to tell you anymore because you might leave and go to another company and we still need you here. That's normally a bad sign. At this juncture, we're not employing anybody else. We're not doing any internal promotions at this juncture. We're not paying for extra training at this juncture. So be careful when you hear this word, at this juncture, because it could be connected to redundancies in the near future. And in corporate life, especially in the UK, you have to be very careful and, what do we say? We say spoon feed information to the employees so they don't get scared and jump ship or leave for another company now. Because we need our staff now, but we can't afford to employ anybody else. So spoon feed a little bit at a time of neutral information. We don't want them to get spooked, get scared, and run away. So at this juncture is a bit of a red flag, or at least a red flag, and you need to investigate further. All right, so that's all the words we have today. If you have any words you'd like to recommend, or words you've heard, or words you're not sure about, put them in the comments and we'll add it to the next list. That's it for now. See you next time.